Big Change for Seb is written by Emily Hardwicke, illustrated by Lucy Cook, and published by Fian Books. A Big Change for Seb is a breastfed toddler's weaning story. Seb likes to visit the park with his mummy and daddy. He's desperate to be allowed to go on the long, windy red and yellow snake slide, but mummy and daddy say it's not quite time yet. There are plenty of friends that Seb likes to play with at the park, but his friend Jake is a little bit intimidating, and when it all gets a bit much and a bit too overwhelming, Seb likes to have some milk from his mummy. One day, mummy explains that she won't always be feeding Seb, and he gets quite anxious and a little bit scared about this, because mummy's milk makes him feel safe and loved. Seb's daddy steps in to explain to Seb that he can still have milk, just in a different way, because he's getting a bit bigger. Mummy also sets a boundary and says that Seb can still have her milk at home, but when they're out of the house, he can't have mummy's milk. Seb's mummy sticks to the boundary, even when Seb hurts himself at the park the next day. She reassures him and tells him that even though she's not feeding him and giving him milk, she still loves him and she gives him cuddles instead. Soon there's a distraction when Seb's friend Amira comes over and shows him a wiggly worm. It works, and Seb forgets that he wanted milk. There are more distractions at home when Seb plays with his train set and has some wiggly worm noodles for tea. It works again, and he forgets that he wanted milk. And at another transition time, bath time, Daddy takes over and has a great time with Seb in the bath, distracting him from the fact that he hasn't had mummy's milk all day. At the weekend, Seb, mummy and daddy go back to the park, and this time, mummy and daddy encourage him to go down the big, windy red and yellow slide. It's okay, they say, you can do this, you're big enough now. Seb is unsure at first, just like he was about the milk, but then he remembers that he is getting bigger, and he thinks about all the things that he's managed to achieve. He counts down, and he goes down the slide. That night, Daddy took Seb into bed, and he thinks about how far he's come. The book is based on my own personal weaning story. I fed my son till he was 2.5 and found it really difficult to know how to stop. The gentle techniques that you see in the book can work as long as you are consistent and keep hold of the boundaries that you've set with your child. A Big Change for Seb is not a magic solution. It's intended as a way to prompt your child and start the weaning process in a gentle way. You can remind them of Seb's journey and equate it to their own. And you can also use the character to show them the kind of things that Seb is experiencing and the emotions that he feels when he's going through this transitional period. I'd love to hear how you get on with the book and what you think of it. And it would be great if you could connect with me via my social media at Seb the Series on Instagram, Facebook, or on Twitter. If you'd like to leave a review on Amazon, that would also be really appreciated so that I can get this book out to as many people that might need it as possible. Thank you very much for your support.